Okay, today we are starting with Unit 6, which is Internal Structure and Chemical Nomenclature. So we're going to look at what causes things to stick together. So we're looking at the internal structure of the atoms. What makes certain things stick together? So to begin with, the first lab that we're going to do is called the Sticky Tape Lab, and it is exploring electrostatic charge. So it looks like this. So we're going to do part 1, and then there's a little space in here that you can tell me what is the reaction. So I have on the countertop, I have a top tape and I have a bottom tape, and I need to make another set. So this is just transparent Scotch tape. Doesn't have to be Scotch brand. So I'm going to put both of these down. So I put my bottom tape and I label it with B. And the bottom tape is just on the tabletop just to keep my other tape clean. It's also a good surface for the interaction here to happen. So here's my top tape. I'll just attach that right on top of it, and I put a little tab at the top, fold it over, and I have top tape. So tried this a little bit earlier this morning. This seems to work really well. We've got a nice cold morning. The air is very dry, so the electrostatic charge seems to be working really well. So the next step says rip this one off. So I rip this off, and we're going to hang this over the edge of the table. Notice how this tape is just going all over. It's charged up really well. So there's my top tape. I have that hung there. My next one is I'm going to rip the other top tape off. The bottom tapes are just going to stay there. Keep that one there. And it says bring this top tape near the other top tape. These just don't want to stay suspended in the air. Well, kind of fold it over a little bit, but it's still going to work. So I'm going to bring this close, and we're going to look at what happens to the electrostatic charge when I bring these two near each other. So this is the tape right here that's on there, and this is my hand. As I bring this close, we can see there's a reaction. So there's the tape on the desktop, right there, my top tape, and I'm bringing this one near it. You can see it looks like it is, when I take it away, it falls back down pretty straight when I bring this one near. And as I bring it nearer and nearer, we can see that one is moving away. So that would be the first part. What is happening there with the electrostatic charge? So for the second part of the lab, the sheet looks like this. We're going to do another set of tapes. I kept my base tapes on here. I'm going to do 3 layers though. So I have my base tape, and I've already got one set up. So I do my handle. I'm going to put one piece of tape on top of there, and I'm going to call that my bottom tape. So I have a base, a bottom, and then I'm going to put another piece of tape on there, and I'm going to call that my top tape. So the base tape we will never take off of the table. It's just meant to keep the tape clean. Okay. I also have hung a piece of foil right here and a piece of paper right there. They're about the same size as the tapes. So it says to take another piece of paper and bring it next to, and you should be recording this on the table on the next page. There's a table that looks like this, so you can look at what is the interaction between the paper and the paper. So that's what I'm going to do now. So that would be the far bottom right corner. Is there any type of interaction? So here's my paper. I'm going to bring my camera over here so we can kind of see what the action is. So if I take paper and bring it close to paper, we can see, is there any kind of interaction? I pull away, I bring close, you can see what the interaction is. So the next one is I'm going to bring a piece of foil next to the foil. So here's my foil right there. This is my foil that I'm bringing. I'm bringing it next to another piece of foil. And look at that interaction. Okay? So those are kind of the interactions between those two. Okay, the next directions say take a piece of the, take one of the top tapes and bottom tapes, away from the base tape, so I'm going to rip these off. And notice how it clings to my hand. They want me to take and rub this on the faucet. So I'm going to rub this on the faucet over here. As you can see how this attracts to my hand. So I'm going to rub this on the faucet until it doesn't attract to my hand anymore. That's the tape. Now it's still attracting. It might take a little while to do this. Get better. Okay, so then I'm going to hang this top tape close, not too close to the paper, but it's going to be in line with that. So that's the top tape, and then I need to rip off one of the bottom tapes. And do the same thing with that. That's good. And then we're going to hang that down here on the table also. Okay, so if you can see, I have my 4 pieces of different substances hanging over the edge of the table. So what I'm going to do is look at how does the foil interact with the top tape. And so that will be this first tape right here with the T. I'm going to bring the foil next to it. And we can see, ooh, looks like it's moving towards it. And then if I bring the foil to the bottom tape, looks like I get the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with the paper. There's my top tape and bottom tape. I'm going to bring the paper up next to this. Oh, there's a little movement there. And I'm going to bring the paper up next to this. There's also movement there. Look at that again. There's the top tape. And there's the bottom tape. Okay, so we can see how paper and foil interacted with the top tape. So for this last part, I'm going to rip off a top tape, which I have right here. My top tape, I'm going to take it towards each of the 4 different pieces of tape that we have here. So here's with the foil. Oh, you can see there. I'm not even that close to it. Here's the paper. Here's the other top tape. Top tape to top tape. See what's happening there. And then the last one would be top tape to bottom tape. So then I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to grab off my bottom tape here quickly. Look at bottom tape to foil. Ooh. Bottom tape to paper. Bottom tape to top tape. And bottom tape to bottom tape. Now, dealing with these electrostatic charges, I could see there was some interaction that wasn't what I really wanted to see, because sometimes it's hard to control the electrostatic charges. So we will correct those in class in case you got the wrong results.